Next, the United States says it has launched a wave of strikes on Iran. It said the targets included radar installations, air defences and drone storage. The US military posted this footage online, which it says shows US Navy and Air Force fighter jets conducting the strikes on Iranian military targets in and near the Strait of Hormuz. America says the action was in response to a drone attack carried out by Iran on a Panama-flagged oil tanker on Saturday morning. US officials say after previous strikes, Iran was given a chance to honour its ceasefire agreement with America, but it chose not to. It's the second time Iran has targeted ships in the Strait of Hormuz over the past few days. On Friday, the US said it struck missile and drone storage facilities and coastal radar positions in response to a previous drone attack on a cargo vessel. Tehran said the ship was attacked because it was using an unauthorized route in the Gulf waterway. Well, President Trump posted on social media saying the US struck Iranian targets for violating the ceasefire again. He says it's possible Iran will never learn and that there may come a point where the US can no longer be reasonable and will be forced to use the military to complete the job it started. He ended by saying if that happens, the Islamic Republic of Iran will no longer exist, ending his post with an exclamation mark. Well, at the same time, Iran's Revolutionary Guard Corps said it launched attacks against Bahrain and Kuwait in retaliation for those latest US strikes. Kuwait confirmed it was responding to what it called hostile drone and missile attacks. Air raid sirens have also been sounding in Bahrain. Well, Alma Mahmoudian is a research fellow at the Global and National Security Institute. He gave me his take on the latest round of strikes.
These strikes are consequences of a couple of issues. The first thing is the stalemate that we are witnessing in Iran-US talks in regarding the Strait of the Hormuz, the sovereignty over it, and when it's going to be restored. The Americans are very much keen that Strait of the Hormuz, specifically speaking, the route that it is under is closer to the Oman's flank of the strait, be open as quick as possible. United States doesn't want to continue negotiation over Iran's nuclear weapon while Iran tries to keep the Oman's route of the Strait of the Hormuz closed. In view of the Americans, that can give the Iranian a strong leverage. For the same reason, Iran wants to keep that leverage. The other issue that actually plays a role in the Gulf Persian Gulf is far from the Gulf Persian Gulf. It is in Lebanon. During the last couple of days, the Lebanese government, with the mediation of the Americans, they signed a deal with the Israelis, which allows Israel to remain in south of the Lebanon, specifically speaking in two zones. And also that agreement points out that the Hezbollah would be disarmed. This is a great deal of danger toward not only Hezbollah, but also Iran's influence. Iranians have been constantly trying to condition the ceasefire in Lebanon to ceasefire and peace deal between themselves as the American, as they call it, the total peace and peace on all fronts. This is not something that the Prime Minister Netanyahu wants, and this is something that the United States also is quite reluctant to it. United States wants to narrow the scope of the negotiation to Iran. And what is happening in the Middle East and in the Persian Gulf and the Strait of the Hormuz also is the implication of it. It's implication on the consequences of a stalemate, difficulties, and frustration from both parties throughout the negotiation and political talks.
Do you think part of it is that maybe it wasn't clear enough in the memorandum of understanding what happens in the Strait of Hormuz, and each side can say, well, we think it's this, and the other side say, actually, we think it's that?
This is quite the case, and to be all frank, it is the case for most of the memoranda of the understandings or also ceasefires, because the memorandum of the understanding is not a treaty, it's not an agreement. They usually compose and contain a couple of points, as Iran-US memorandum of the understanding has. They are to be served as the framework. And when you have a framework before having a deal, it means that there are so many places that it's up to interpretation of each side. There are so many places, and there's so many issues that haven't been discussed because the discussion has been left to the negotiation and a broader history. This can be one of these issues, and at least that's one argument that the Iranian make. From the Iranian point of view, the Strait of the Hormuz has three routes. One route is the close to Iran flank. One route is the middle route, which both Iranian and Americans have agreed that that route is not really accessible because they still need to clear their mines out of it. And there is a third route, which is closer to the Oman's coast. Iran's claim is that, according to the memorandum of the understanding, only one route, which is the Iranian route or the closer route to the Iran's coast, are open. The Americans have a different understanding, and from their point of view, as Vice President J.D. Vance pointed out, it is only the middle route, the route that has been diluted by the months, is closed, and all other routes, including the Iranian and Omanis, are open to freedom of the maritime freedom. And I think this causes a confusion and conflict. And yes, to answer your question, yes, the memorandum of understanding did not really clarify that, at least in view of the Iranians.